Wow. I run this channel for a year, and I made quite a name for myself for going after people for making piss-poor videos and just overall shitty points. Such as people like some guy 827,
BurnCoalition. I know him as Lackland. He's an annoying little fuck.
M22 Frogger.
You just proved your ignorance to who I am, to what my channel's about, to what I've done.
Mega Maverick.
The only thing you cared about was when I brought you up calling me a moron. You could call me a moron, you could call me an asshole, you could call me a fucktard. Hey, that's fine.
And so on and so forth. When going after a bad ranter, people tend to put themselves on a higher pedestal. A lot of people seem to view it in the sense that they are higher than that person. I myself do it too. It's not a bad thing. You know, if you're going after someone for being a hypocrite, you yourself don't want to be a hypocrite. Not to say that if you are a hypocrite, then all of a sudden it's this bad thing. But you should stay clear from being a hypocrite. You should try to stay clear from hypocrisy, and being fallacious, and so on and so forth. However, I do have to say, there was a time in my YouTube career when I was at par with all these people. When I was at par with people like Some Guy 827, M22 Frogger, Mega Maverick, well, not Mega Maverick, but you get the point. Back then, I was a moron. Not only did I have a skewed view on misanthropy that if you're a teenager you should by default be a misanthrope, or else you're this idiot, I also had a multitude of other skewed views. For example, I thought that if you kiss ass to someone, you're insane. Insane! Despite the definition of insane meaning outside of the norm. You know, not being in the general populace, something which is uncommon in society. But this is common in society. People are like this in society. This isn't this irregular thing which comes out of nowhere. This is something which happens just general in society. This is something which happens every now and then. It's not something that's a rare occurrence. Now, am I saying that it's a good occurrence? Absolutely not. If you just constantly respect someone, no matter what they do, then that's wrong. I've run after people like Ranner and Shades for that, so obviously I think it's wrong. But to call it insane is going a bit too far. And back then I tried too hard to be something which I'm not, which was David. For those of you unaware, David was a content creator who specialised in being edgy, controversial, flamboyant, and constant jump cuts. He always tried so hard to be controversial by making fun of plane crashes, by making fun of just anything really. He had no limitation. Now am I saying that having no limitation is bad? No, I've said that before. It's not bad. It's okay to have no limits. That's a good thing. But it's not good to just constantly be freely about this. Using controversial humour for the sake of controversial humour is senseless. There's no point in making a joke if there's no substance or punchline to it. Just by being offensive to goat people is childish and stupid. David had the potential to be a good ranter, and I know that might be a bit of a controversial opinion, no pun intended, that David had the potential to make good rant videos, but he truly did. He had the ability to do that, but he threw it all away, just for the sake of getting notoriety. But he failed. He didn't know how to do it. He assumed that if you were just controversial, you'd instantly become famous because insert Louis C.K., insert George Carlin. But what he failed to insert was why they were famous. They weren't famous because they were controversial. They were famous because their jokes were funny, because they were entertaining, interesting, and actually had substance. David doesn't. David had no substance whatsoever, and I was trying to emulate that. And what happens when you try to emulate a bad ranter? You yourself become bad. Not only was I poor at words and stuff, and just constantly talked over what I had to say, did constant jump cuts for the sake of constant jump cuts, you know, just jump cuts for the sake of it. It wasn't done because I messed up what I had to say, or to make it more concise, just because, well, if David did it, it must be good. I even said in my video, fuck you, I'm a teenager, that I don't care about YouTube, which is a flat out lie. I can say myself, I did care about YouTube, which is why I actively participated in drama. I thought that if I constantly participated in drama, I would just become famous. I went after people like SkullRipper4900 for no particular reason. You know, I joined Skype calls berating the guy. I even released his docs at one point. I was a malicious idiot, trying to get famous by being an asshole. But being an asshole doesn't make you right, as the once so great Lacey Green says. You know, being an asshole doesn't make you right. It makes you an asshole. If you're gonna be an asshole, at least be an asshole to the right people. Be an ass to the people that deserve it. People that are generally evil and fucked up and despicable. Don't go after people that generally aren't worth your time. But let's face it here, we're directing this video to my past self. I wouldn't have acknowledged that. Why would I? I was an idiot back then. It took some hardship to realise that I was an idiot. It took me realising, uh-oh, I'm losing friends. I'm losing my subscribers, not gaining them. And then I actually did this thing called apply substance to my content. More people watched me. Whether or not my substance was correct, there's definitely a significant portion of substance compared to my older videos. I actually put effort instead of just making controversial videos for the sake of being controversial. I made videos back then like Titanic sex, where I made fun of the Titanic by saying stuff which generally didn't make any sense. What's the point of making fun of the deaths of a million people if you're not even gonna have a punchline to it? I mean, could you imagine Rose and Jack like, oh, never let go, never let go? You can tell that would be fucking hilarious. It's like me doing a joke about a shovel. It makes no sense. But the main point I wanted to bring to you guys is this video. Stand up for what you believe in, which should have been titled, How to be a Pseudo-Intellectual in 4 Minutes. In this piece of pseudo-scientific mess, and just pseudo-intellectual shit in general, was me trying to say that you should stand up for what you believe in, which is a good message. If only I executed it good. I am pretty fucking sure that everyone watching this video right now has encountered one dumb motherfucker that would just end up saying this when you prove your reasons for disliking their god. They'll just turn and say, oh, why don't you keep that negative opinion to yourself? How about that? Wanna know one thing that you can do to destroy their argument and just to destroy them mentally? Just say no. Oh yes, just say no to an authority figure will definitely make them lose their mental state. Yes, I'm sure it's happened before. Telling someone no will make them lose their mind. Of course. You should know a 13-year-old who hasn't had any conflict whatsoever. Yes, clearly you know what you're talking about. You know that no will just make people lose their minds and become insane nutjobs. Don't accept defeat by someone this fucking dumb, cause if you do, you have not only destroyed your reputation, your credibility, your notoriety, any shred of respect that you once had for me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that people care about your respect. The 13-year-old edgy kid that uses edgy jokes for the sake of being edgy. Yeah, surely if you lose their respect, you're just gonna lose it. This is more stuff which is gonna make people fucking insane, right? Getting rid of your natural impulses and getting rid of your opinion and what you actually believe in just makes you the most unrespectable person ever. Do you mean natural impulses like rape fantasies, violent fantasies, kissing ass? If the crowd is telling you to say yes and you truly think that you should say no, say no. What the fuck's gonna happen badly if you just say the word no? You just speak out what you actually think. Nothing! Absolutely fucking nothing bad would happen. Oh my god, if you're gonna use excessive jump cuts, could you at least be coherent about it? The reason why no one harped on the Amazing Atheist for using excessive jump cuts is because he was a good editor. He knew how to cut in and cut out, which is what you fail to do. You'll cut at the end of every sentence, and that's the most unappealing bullshit ever. Wait. The only way to succeed human progression is to speak out against the majority. Do you know what misanthropy is? You can't achieve human progression if you're not willing to help humans. If you're not willing to help humans, then how do you expect human progression to even occur? 4 things that you also need to actually gain human progression is speak what you actually feel, don't care what others say, be willing to take criticism, and showing that you don't give up without a fight. If you fail all of these 4 steps, then I'm sorry, but you're just not a respectable fucking person that's out for human progression. Well, not everyone can follow those steps. You shouldn't give a fuck what others say, but simultaneously take criticism? It's either one or the other. You can't do both at the same time. If you don't care what they say, then you're not going to take in their criticism. If you take in their criticism, you care what they have to say. You fail. Think of all of the good possibilities that could happen if you just speak out against the majority. You could benefit the world in great fucking ways just by helping the world just that little bit with what you feel is right. Speaking out against the majority isn't always a good thing. For example, speaking out against the majority for laws. We should just outlaw laws. We should just get rid of laws. Make it a purge-like atmosphere. You know, this is why no one takes you seriously. By turning and saying that we should speak out against the majority all the time is a stupid thing. Yes, certain situations it's good to speak out against the majority,